Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Tuesday, the 28th of January. Bear with me here. I've been fighting a really bad chest cold for the past week, so I'm hoping that I'm heading into the tail end of it. But if I start to cough, please just bear with me. A week ago today, Bishop Marianne Edgar Budde stood in the pulpit of the cathedral, the National Cathedral in Washington, and he invited the President of the United States to consider having mercy. She asked him to have mercy. She quoted scripture. She did not make a political statement. She did not do something that was contrary to her call as a bishop. It was in her own church, her own cathedral, at a ceremony, at a church service that had been scheduled, and the president and all of his people had chosen to come when no one was handcuffed or forced to be there. And I do believe that this is a tradition post-inauguration that this happens. And as with and so many other things, like the fact that the flags were supposed to have been at half-mast for 30 days after Jimmy Carter died, which would have included the inauguration day when they were raised to full staff because, he's got to have the attention. Traditions can be broken. He didn't have to go, and yet he did. And she, for having the temerity, for having the courage, for simply doing her job, as taking it on the chin. I don't know. I'm filming this on Monday, the 27th, and I don't know whether the Episcopal Church saw an increase in numbers of people showing up on church on Sunday. I don't know. I hope they did. But I think this calls to mind a question that we all have to face as Christians. And that Christian is, in a free world where we have the right for religion, we have the right to believe or not to believe in Jesus Christ, where we have the right to speak what we believe to be our beliefs. Is there a place when the church should speak to the state? And I believe that Bishop Budde has given us an answer. I believe it's an answer we've always known. And I believe it's an answer that we've shied away from because we are scared, because we don't want to ruffle feathers, because we don't want to make people angry, and we are probably also don't want to draw attention to ourselves. Because if the spotlight is on us, then the spotlight is on us. And we are responsible for what is said and done in that spotlight. The truth is that the church, or our faith, the different faith traditions, all of them, we have a truth to speak. And one of the truths that most religions that I'm aware of sort of holds that sort of the golden rule, that do unto others. We are called, regardless of whether we're Christians or Jews or Muslims or Buddhists or, all the different religions, we are called to treat one another with dignity and respect. And that is simply what the bishop was asking of the president. The reality is, though, that enough brainwashing, enough convincing people that these are not standards that are really appropriate has happened, that people were calling for her deportation. A woman, I believe she was born in New Jersey, an American through and through, preaching in a pulpit that's hers to preach from, in a church that hers to preach from, was being told to get out because she dared to speak something that didn't actually challenge the president or say he was doing something wrong. It simply held a spotlight to him that showed that maybe he wasn't good for the spotlight. As I said before, when the spotlight is upon us, we are responsible for the words we say, the actions we take. For many of us in leadership, that's a tough place to be. We get nervous. What happens if the spotlight is on us? Will our actions and our words have integrity? Will they match? Will what we say and what we do actually line up? And I think that this is a challenge. This period of time that we're in right now is a challenge to the world, the Christian world in particular. And when I say Christian, I'm not talking Christian nationalist. I'm not talking Joel Osteen or, the prosperity gospel. I'm talking about old-fashioned Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John gospel. Picking up the Bible and reading it and recognizing that it says we are to take care of the orphan. We are to take care of the children. We are to feed the hungry and clothe the naked. We are to house the homeless. We're not to chase people down and kill them. We're not to shove them out. We're to draw them in. We're to draw the circle wide, as a great hymn talks about. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. We're called to share the love of Jesus Christ with everyone we meet, even if they don't agree with us, even if they're not one of us, even if they don't believe like we do. What they believe does not dictate how we're called to treat them. We're called to love them and reach out and care for them and offer to them the very things that we have, that we've been blessed with. We are at a crossroads in our society, in our world, in which we can choose to do, as I believe what Christ would call us to do, and that is to stand up and to speak and to serve and to love and to have mercy. And if we choose not to, if we choose to stand by and watch as people say hateful things and make other people othering them, making them sound like they're less and less and less, because this is what happened with brainwashing, is that we just listen so much we become convinced. It's like advertising Saturday morning cartoons and children. Remember, as a young parent, how hard was it toward Christmas time to say to your child, that's maybe not the best thing, or, Fruit Loops or Captain Crunch isn't exactly the healthiest breakfast cereal, because what do they hear? They hear over and over and over how good it is and how many nutrients there are. And after a while, even though they may have the ability to understand differently, they just hear it banging into their heads so often that they begin to believe it. If we do not stand up and speak the truth, if we do not stand up and speak for others who cannot speak for themselves because people are taking their rights away from them, how quickly will we become the ones who have no rights? How quickly will we be told it doesn't matter that you have a church in which to stand in the pulpit to preach? You're not allowed to say those words ever, anywhere. I hope I'm being alarmist. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's not where our world is going. But if it is, even if there's just a tiniest little smidgen of a chance that is where the world is going, then we owe it to the world to stand up, to follow in the footsteps of Bishop Marianne and say, I will have the courage to speak the truth of Jesus Christ to power, and I will not apologize. We have to have the strength and the integrity of our own faith and our own beliefs to do what is right. And I absolutely believe that what is right for us will never be to hurt another human being. Will never be to say that another human being is not worthy of love or compassion or a home or a family or an opportunity, because they are somehow less than. Because as Christians, we believe that every single person was created in the image of God. Every single person is a beloved child of God. And that means that we cannot turn them away. That means we need to speak truth to power. And we must start now. God bless you, Bishop Marianne, and all of the people who are following after you. May we have the courage to speak the truth of Jesus Christ to the world, proclaiming it loudly, and then making sure that our actions match our words. God bless you, everybody. Have a great day, and I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.